I think that it's important for us as men, as fathers, to continue to elevate and develop ourselves, because the better men that we become, the better fathers we become. With that being said, today we have 3 out of 5 of my children on the show, and they are going to share with you the most important lessons that I taught them. Let's get into it. On my right, we have the lovely Nzinga. And then across from me, here on the diagonal, we have Lanasia, my oldest. And then this handsome young man, Malcolm, in the building. So who is going first? Who is going to explain and discuss what is the most important? They're smiling and laughing. I love it. That means they're having fun. What is the most important lesson that I have taught you?
I'll go first.
I love it. Yeah, he's manning up already.
The most important lesson that my dad taught me was to always keep a planner. And it doesn't sound like a big thing, but it was big for me because as I was like in high school and like middle school, I didn't really write things down. And I often like forgot things and it led to me getting in trouble and things like that. So once I got in college, like I had more responsibilities. Basically, I needed a planner and it was just easier for me to remember everything I had to do.
If we don't have a plan, then we will fall prey to anything that comes our way. We will allow ourselves to be distracted. So the beautiful thing about having a plan and having a planner is because your choices and decisions are made in advance. That's number one. The other thing too, that it ensures that whatever goals you have, whatever desires and purpose you have, that you are on track. Who's next?
I would say the most important lesson has been, I remember growing up, dad would always be like, you want to make sure that your job kind of applies to your community, and whatever you're doing, you want to make sure that you're also helping like your community. That lesson came back to me while living like in Philly and just seeing like the state that our people are in. And it was hard. Like it's hard. Like, it's hard to see like people just on the street and kids like just not really having a place to go and just kind of running around the campus. And so yeah, that definitely like put things into perspective for me, and wanting to make sure that when I have my profession, which most likely is going to be in speech pathology, to make sure that I'm like helping our community and our people and making sure to put them first, because that's who really needs it right now.
Indeed. I remember when I was in college, Professor Parsha Hobson, when we were talking about the state of Paterson, New Jersey, where I'm from, I asked her, what happened to the city? Why is it in the state that it's in? And one of the things that she said is all of the professionals moved out. And so I understand why, because at the time, due to crack cocaine and everything that was going on in the 80s, there was a lot of crime in the community. I totally get that. But with that being said, I just think that it's imperative that we as a people also pay it forward and do what we can to elevate ourselves and our community. I actually think that it's our role and responsibility to do so. All right, who is next?
Me. So I think the biggest lesson that you've taught me, and it meant a lot to me this year specifically because I feel like this year I really applied it, and that would be protecting my peace. So that one stood out to me a lot this year just because of when you say things to me or us when we're growing up and we're younger that like, we're just like, oh, okay, yeah, dad's telling us things that, he wants us to use and apply. And then when it finally like comes a time where we can use it, that's when it hits us the most. So this year, protecting my peace, setting boundaries, and me realizing that like I can't change other people's feelings, how they feel about me or how they feel about certain situations, how they react to certain situations. But the only thing I can do is just make sure that I'm good, protecting my mind, my body, my soul.
When they were younger, I would always tell them, I don't know if you remember, I would use the analogy of a toolbox. And I would say that their mind is like a toolbox, and that all I'm doing, because it's my role and responsibility as their father, is just putting some tools in their toolbox that they can choose to use if the time ever presents itself. And protecting your peace, I think that that's something that's so important, especially in this day and time when society is the way it is, with our phones and social media and all the drama and what we see on the news and the negativity that's around us, one thing that we can truly control is ourselves. We may not be able to control everything within the external world, but we can control the internal world and our minds and our perspective and how we view this. That was great. I really appreciate all of you coming. You all living very busy lives and you're contributing to the world by sharing that wisdom. And I'm glad that as your father, I was able to contribute some type of value that you can apply and that's practical and that's elevating you. You know, I always tell you that the way you can pay me back as your father, you don't owe me nothing because you didn't ask to be here. But the way you can pay me back is by being successful and being the best version of yourselves.